Welcome to another GCBASIC tutorial for the PIC18FxQ35 chip family. This is part 5, and we're going to use a switch as an input to set the state of the LEDs. So let's have a look. Like the video, please, and subscribe to the channel because that all helps the metrics. Thank you very much. Okay, so number 5, we're going to use an input to set the state of the LEDs. We've covered off how the basic inputs and outputs work. We've made LEDs flash. We've used the ADC, and we've started to use some of the functions that are built into GCBASIC. And this is relatively simple. It's just using an input. Now I'm using a PIC demonstration board. It's quite old, 2010, works fantastic for this chip. And I am now using item number 7, which is on the right hand side. There are 3 push button switches for external stimulus and reset. We will be using those over the next set of tutorials, and I'm going to be using the middle one, RA4. Still going to be using the LEDs, by the way. Okay, there's a little circuit board. I'll come back to that, and in the PDF that's given for this board gives you a really good circuit of how to actually wire up a switch with a pull-up resistor. And this is what it looks like. We've put my pointer on. We've seen the LEDs, always attach LEDs through suitable resistors. We've seen the RA0. We're not going to be using that today, but this is what we're going to be using, this switch here, switch number 2. Correct, S2, yes. It is a pull-up resistor of 4.7K and a current limiting resistor into RA4. So this is the key thing that we're going to be using, RA4. And it's not limited to RA4. Could be any input. It's just I picked RA4 because that's what the board is. So what we're going to do is we're going to initialize the microcontroller. We're going to check that switch, and if it's been pushed, we're going to toggle the LEDs. If it hasn't been, if it's not pushed, then do it again. Just keep going back and do it again. By checking the switch, we're going to use a function. So we're going to introduce a function to return a value of whether that switch has been pushed or not. So as the flow diagram shows on the right hand side, we're going to initialize it, set all the LEDs off, and then we're going to use a function called KeyPressed to look at that. And if it has been pressed, toggle the LEDs. If not, just loop back. Okay, really quite simple. So we're going to look at some more GC Studio options. We're going to example this, the code and look at those results. Okay, so I'm going to start GC code, and as I start GC code, you're going to see something that is pretty spectacular. Only happens every couple of months, maybe once or twice a year, as we update the system. And overnight, the system has been updated, but I'm going to ignore that little update because I don't want to be waiting too long. But it will show you what happens. GC Studio. I've typed in GC Studio, and here we go. You get the normal dialog, and then you get this. I'll zoom in on that for a little while so we can see it. You're getting this update, download update, and it will download the update and then ask you to verify it by doing a post update. But today I'm just going to press close, and it will just start up GC Studio as it normally should. Okay, let me just put that back in the middle. There we go. So what else have we got in here? Right. There is, I'm not spoken about this. If you find a bug, you can either put it on the forum or you can actually come to here and it will take you off to another website where you can enter your problem. Right, you can open a project or file in here. You can open a local folder or create a new project. We've been opening a local folder. I will create a new project later on and show you how to debug, and that's fine. You've also got something that we haven't looked at called the package manager, which we'll look at shortly. And the package manager is support for one of our for the debugger. And in here, if you're just using 8-bit PICs, just check that and all the programmers. Now, You don't need to do that in the basic setup, but I will be showing you this package manager in detail at a later date. What else have we got in the tools that we haven't yet looked at? If you want to do any of the following, if you want to make revisions to the compiler, you can do that. You have all the tools in your installation to make those changes. And that's quite interesting. If you want to make changes to the GS Tools environment, GC Code, which is the actual editor itself, okay, and all the extensions, they're all editable because it's open source. Okay, back. Let's open up our folder 18F. Okay, let me zoom out, and here we have the editor. I'm going to click on the top left-hand side, open the Explorer, and we're looking for a debounce the switch 7070 debounce the switch. I put debounce on it because it actually does that as well. And we've got some code. Oh, okay, I'm just going to shut that down on the left by Control B, whatever method you want to use, just to see if we can see the code. Here we go. We have seen most of this before. Define the chip option explicit means we're going to define our variables. We've seen all these constants before. All of these constants we've seen before for defining the LEDs as outputs. And then a new one here, define switch in port A4. And I am saying that the direction of that is an input. Everything we've used as an output before. So define the switch as a constant called switch in, and then I'm saying set that to an input. And that's quite important. And that is very important because we're going to use a function, and essentially when we push that button, we are going to get a returned value. So it's important that this name here is switched in because that's what it uses inside the function. This is the documentation for it. And essentially, if you've got it pulled down, a down is a 0. And if you had a pull down switch, which is also possible, we have a pull up switch, we pull the voltage north, you just invert that number. But for the time being, that's good enough. And so we're saying down is a 0, which is absolutely true. When we push the down, the microcontroller will return a 0. All right. We've got a do loop here. And we said, this is my function. So a function will return a value. And this is going to return true or false. So I can say if the function key is pressed equals true, toggle the LEDs. Ooh, what does that all mean? LED 0 is there's a little exclamation mark here, which is function key F1 means, what does it mean? It means not, which means it will actually invert that bit for us automatically, just inverts it. And so the LEDs will just invert. What else have I set in here? I've got last switch state. This is used by the function. I just set that to false because we just need an initial state, and we'll have a look at the function very shortly. Let's just compile it up and program it. Here's the board. It was doing what it was doing before the LED was rotating, and it's just programmed it. And there's a switch here, which I shall push, and the 4 LEDs come on the moment I push it. So how's it doing that? Well, we know that there's a function, and that function is here. So something is returning that value because that is working exactly as it should. So let's have a look at that function. There's an explanation of it in detail, all in green for you. And essentially, this is it. Look, it's very simple. It says here the function, and I've expressed that as a bit. So it's going to return 1 or 0, which is 0 is false and true is 1. That's the way it is. And I'm defining a current a bit called current switch state, and I wait for a small delay to debounce that switch, because if I pushed it I want to make sure that I know it's been pushed for more than 10 seconds. 10 seconds? 10 milliseconds. So I say, if the switching is down, now this is a constant, and this is a constant. We can compare constants. If the switch in, that is port A4, is down, then the current switch state is true, which is the bit that we set. Else, it's set to false. Now, only if the state has changed, the last switch state, only if the switch state has changed, is the function key being pressed, and basically that is what that's the name of our function here. Look, it then sets the name of our function to true or false depending upon that last test, and then it exits out. Before it exits out, it just sets our little bit called last switch state as the current switch state. So look, it basically says if it was a 1 before, that means it's off because it's high. I push it down. If it's changed, it sets it to true. Then it saves that away to stop it from debouncing lots of times. This is a microchip piece of C code, no different. It raises exactly the same assembly. That means when I push the button, I don't get repeated actions. I only get one action. And so it stops us from getting the debouncing effect. This is a really good debounce function. But look, that's all we wanted to do was change the LED state. And this is a very quick tutorial because what have we learned? We've learned that we can write functions like this. Let me just stay at the function. Functions can be bits, they can be bytes, they can be integers, longs, or strings. Anything else they can be? No. You can write a function, your own function, to do a lot of things. A lot of things inside of GCBASIC are just these types of functions. So when you type in something like read AD is just a function. It just returns the value that's required. So what I wanted to show was this very simple piece of logic here with this very simple test, and we get a very simple result that is extremely useful. And so you can reuse that function extensively throughout your own solutions. Back to PowerPoint. So that's that one. That's that tutorial done. Next, we're going to use the reset switch. The reset switch does some different things, and it's worth just recapping that how you actually control those in GCBASIC. Enjoy.